Wall Street. My hustle get this money till the day that I die. I don't want half, I want the whole damn pie. You can see it in my eyes. I'm hard on the surprise. Mr. Wall Street. Mr. Wall Street. My hustle get this money till the day that I die. I don't want half, I want the whole damn pie. You can see it in my eyes. I'm hard on the surprise. Mr. Wall Street.
Yeah, my portfolio's diversified. Niggas ain't got long money, your dough is circumcised. Vested in Euro yens, cop the Euro Benz. Used to have that white girl, you know that European. You something like a boss, even when the mic goes off. We good, my vested in Microsoft. They say patience is a virtue, we understand that. That's why it's cake up in my circle. And I'm climbing the charts, Dow Jones, victory lap. Then I get my bow on. While you chase bank, I'm up in Chase Bank. I live on Dun and Bradstreet, and I should thank Frank.
My hustle get this money till the day that I die. I don't want half, I want the whole damn pie. You can see it in my eyes. I'm hard on the ground. Mr. Wall Street. Mr. Wall Street. My hustle get this money till the day that I die. I don't want half, I want the whole damn pie. You can see it in my eyes. I'm hard on the ground. Mr. Wall Street.
Yeah, I'm on that money horse, American Express. Debitors, buried in your debt. I got a new, her name Merrill Lynch. She got me hooked and addicted like she was heroin. Bad credit, no credit line. You eating off your baby mamas, that fat line. You dudes are starving, no dinner time. I'm eating sirloin steaks and sipping better wine. I hang with brokers, they watch my cheddar climb. His shadow government, the Moorish paradigm. And this is for my legacy. I'm Mr. Wall Street, my money never sleeps.
My hustle get this money till the day that I die. I don't want half, I want the whole damn pie. You can see it in my eyes. I'm hard on the ground. Mr. Wall Street. Mr. Wall Street. My hustle get this money till the day that I die. I don't want half, I want the whole damn pie. You can see it in my eyes. I'm hard on the ground. Mr. Wall Street.
I hustle hard, I'm on my job. I got a new connect, his name Charles Schwab. Old money mixed with new like a rock child. A Gordon Gecko with no financial lockouts. If I'm boxed in, then we gon' box it out. Like Mayweather versus Pacquiao, but I ain't backing out. I'm weighing in just to lay it on his chin. Plus it's a cash bow. Fat shouts to Michael Milkins. My stock market rap milking that cash cow. So how rich can they truly be when we were shown our vast estates by no Pachua Ali?
My hustle get this money till the day that I die. I don't want half, I want the whole damn pie. You can see it in my eyes. I'm hard on the ground. Mr. Wall Street. Mr. Wall Street. My hustle get this money till the day that I die. I don't want half, I want the whole damn pie. You can see it in my eyes. I'm hard on the ground. Mr. Wall Street. Mr. Wall Street. My hustle get this money till the day that I die. I don't want half, I want the whole damn pie. You can see it in my eyes. I'm hard on the ground. Mr. Wall Street.
Goldman Sachs.
How's it going, everybody? So happy to be here. It is been a pretty nice active day. Again, excited to be able to be here and give you guys Pip Talk powered by iMarkets. I am Mr. Wall Street, and we're going to be going over the market, and obviously we're again getting to know each other. So I'm going to keep it basic within the first few sessions, but after that we will start to get a little bit deeper and start to go into some techniques that are a little bit more advanced. So without further ado, let's start with the routine. Obviously, we want to make sure that we are on top of anything that could be going on geopolitically. I want to make sure that there are no black swan events or anything that could affect our position. So we're looking for headline news. As it looks to be, our current headline is Uber IPO. It's not really anything that we should be worried about unless we're in the lift trade or anything within that sector. It's not going to affect our particular positions in the Forex market or the crypto market. So it's all clear there. Next, I do want to go to Forex market, Forex factory, and take a quick peek here. And you can see today being Thursday, we had all this news here that was pretty light, with the exception of some dollar news coming out at 5:30 a.m. Obviously, it was a little bit early for a lot of us, but still a good time to trade if you consider it's 8:30 a.m. in the U.S. Right now, we have China news coming out. Now, news in China, since they do trade with the rest of the world, it could affect any one of these currency pairs that you're currently trading. So I would be mindful of that. With that being said, if we look tomorrow, tomorrow's a pretty clear day. There's not really much that you have to be concerned with as far as tomorrow. One of the things that I do want to highlight is nat gas. You can find that nat gas, if you're trading nat gas, you will find that the nat gas will give you a pretty good movement during news. So you got crude oil Wednesdays and nat gas Thursdays. So that means we had crude oil Wednesdays at 7:30. So that's 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. Okay. And then as far as your nat gas or natural gas storage, that's the same thing except for it's Thursday. So we'll typically do crude oil Wednesdays, nat gas Thursdays. But today it's a little bit late for us. We're about 11 hours and 30 minutes late. So that being said, let's try to focus on what we can find right now, what's moving right now. Since we don't have much news to worry about except for this news in China, and it's saying tentative, so we don't know exactly what it is. It would more so impact the things over there in the Asian region or the Asian continent. So now, currently, if we take a look here, one of the things that I typically like to do is I typically like to look at oil. When I'm looking at oil, I'm looking at oil as it pertains to countries that are big exporters of oil. That means the Australian dollar, okay, the New Zealand dollar, as well as the Canadian dollar. Now, whenever you have them as the base, they're going to be in a positive correlation to oil. Whenever they're the quote, they'll be in possibly a negative correlation. All right, that means if you have, for instance, dollar CAD, that would be negatively correlated to oil, and Aussie dollar and New Zealand dollar, that'll have a positive correlation to oil. So with that being said, we will take a look here at, we'll double chart. And with oil. USD. All right, change that back on over. And I wanted to highlight our area. All right, so you can see that this particular area here, and it's still a good buy if you want to hop in it now and take advantage of it. One of the things I wanted to stay under is this pivot here. You can see that we have the moving average inside there, kind of hugging, giving us good vibes. I see a nice little bottoming tail, all right, or some would call it a spinning top. It is without a doubt one of the strongest candlesticks, and when you find it in the right location, you can definitely find some good action. I don't really like to force trend lines, but if you do look here, price action kind of gave you a nice little bounce here, bounce, and then it came in and it looked like it was going to go below the trend line, but failed to do so. Failed to at least close so far below the trend line, with this candle here kind of going back over. We had one candle close below the trend line, and the other one went back above, and now we're getting bullish candlesticks. They're all really bullish candlesticks for that matter, so I would expect to see it go back up a little bit more to the upside. But for now, you can see that if you're looking at crude oil, I'd like to take a look at crude oil on the daily. All right, and it's been pretty nicely moving to the upside. You can see that we've got it respecting the 8-period moving average, but it's very much in an uptrend. All right, so with that being said, the only thing that I see that could be in its way would be the $66 level. All right, right around here. Change both these on over. So that's the area that I would be concerned with. Outside of that, and it already kind of tested this area, so a little smidgen just there. So we'll move it up exactly to our 66. That's 64. All right, 66. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right. So it could continue to ride on up as it's respecting the 8-period moving average. It's not as parabolic as you would see some of these things, but if this particular candle here does close as a bottoming tail, then it's further confirmation that we could get a push to the upside. So again, I love looking at oil as confirmation to when I'm trading, these major exporters of commodities like oil and gold, things of that nature. All right, so that being said, let's move back to one chart. So as far as the higher time frames are concerned, the one thing I would say that you have to be mindful of is the fact that the weekly it's sideways. We don't really see much bullish or bearish action. The one thing is price is kind of holding here. All right, so you could see at the really at the 70 cents. I'm not gonna bicker between pips on a weekly. I'm not gonna sit here and also try to pin it on the 70-cent level precisely, but you can see at 70 cent, the Australian dollar had a little bit of trouble breaking below that area, and you can see that it's been trying to push to the upside. There's some resistance here, keeping price from being able to get above that area. You could also see you had the 200-period, the 20-period moving average, 21 more specifically, as I like to be in line with Fibonacci. So I don't really see much that I'm excited about on the weekly. The daily as well. I mean, it did look good, the fact that we bounced off here. Trying to make it a little bit bigger for you so you can see. So that little particular area inside here was, you could almost look at it like a floor or even a cup, so to speak, where price comes in, rallies up a bit, and then retraces back into this area, and you can see that now it found some footing. So if it can continue to rally and wipe out this particular candle here, then we'll see it be some movement to the upside. But again, on the smaller time frame, that move up could end up giving you an opportunity. It's been choppy, red, green, red, green, red, green, Christmas tree pattern. So you don't really have the bulls in control. You don't really have the bears in control. So you could have an opportunity where it ends up giving the bulls the candle and the power within that next candle. Depending on your entry, you could protect yourself by doing a buy stop entry. So if I were you, I would go in and I would look to have my entry be, if you didn't already get in with the limit entry, you could have your entry there, okay, with the buy stop entry. All right, and then obviously you want to have your stop below there. So I'm gonna have my stop loss. I'm gonna put my stop loss below that pivot there. Okay. So if you were to take that trade, you could take it here, and if it fails to rally to the upside, then you could end up just going in and scratching the trade. If it ends up, breaking down and moving past that 200 period moving average, I mean, once again, this is something of beauty. I mean, just take a look at it. It's something of beauty. I love, 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 love bottoming tails, and when you find bottoming tails in the right location, they can mean a good opportunity for the retail trader. So keep that in mind. This is a special opportunity for us. With oil being bullish, I would definitely be excited to see this move to the upside. Now, where are our potential targets for this? Because we definitely would have to look for some targets, or at least areas where we would be concerned. For me, I'm going to say here. Now, this is a one-to-one. I know that a lot of you guys like the one-to-ones. So this is a quick little one-to-one. If you're aggressive, you may take multiple targets where you're looking for first target up in here, second target a little bit higher to the upside. But again, keep in mind that once price action moves here to the upside, okay, once it moves to the upside, you want to take your stop loss and you want to move your stop loss to break even. That's extremely important. It's very vital because, again, if you're in the trade past this point and you haven't taken it as your initial target level, price could very much well hit here and then come back down and retrace. Okay, and then it could go up again or break down to the downside. You never know, but you want to protect yourself and understand that when you stay in these things too long, you don't manage your trade effectively. You could run into a problem where a good trade turns bad very quickly. All right, so moving along, I wanted to head on over to the indicator, that I introduced in one of our last sessions. You can see the URL up here. For those of you that want access, this is a very powerful indicator as it plays off the strength that the Forex market has, being that we're trading currency pairs. We're playing off of relative strength. That means I want to trade very strong currencies against weak currencies. And if the base happens to be strong, I want to go long. If the base is weak, I want to be short. So taking a look here, you can see on our very, very first one, we have Euro Yen. And I'm going to type in Control F, JP. And you can see here, it's just all green here. Now, one of the things that this could mean, it could mean that price action is giving us all indication to be bullish, or price has moved and rallied and been exhausted in its move and now moved into an area where we've been waiting for an opportunity to go short. It remains to be seen, but for now, we do know that it is moving. I'm not going to focus much on the yearly or even the quarterly. I really am concerned mainly with the daily, the weekly, and the monthly because I'm a swing trader. That means I am trading on the 4-hour, looking to plot my entries on the 4-hour. I look at the daily for trend, and then I'm looking at the weekly for not only trend, but also the cycle or position of where we are on a particular curve or leg of a move as far as the trend is concerned. And that's the big picture perspective. With that being said, let's go to Euro Yen. All right. Now you can see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now 8 candles in an extended move. This is like an exhausted move because if you look and you think of a horse at the end of a race or a sprinter at the end of a marathon, they will usually give a last thrust. And that last little thrust is their last little push of energy. So right now, you can see that this was a nice area where there was and probably still is some institutional order flow to the short side because it definitely slowed price action and gave price action a little bit of a stop or a pause. And if you look here, you can see that this area here, it does line up with this here as far as the little ceiling that was created. So if I took this whole area, this whole block, and I just blocked it off, okay? you can see that in that area, price action is giving us a nice little opportunity for us to short if we see the right movement. Now, the right movement would happen to be a bearish engulfing or even a topping tail. What is a bearish engulfing? A bearish engulfing would be something that looks like this here. Okay, a topping tail would be something that looks like that there. Okay, or even here, this here, these two candles here. That's a tweezer tops. All right. So with that being said, I am right now, I'm not bullish when I see that price is extended out. When you know that price is giving you a movement to the upside, what does it typically do? You typically end up seeing a movement such as this. Price doesn't go straight up and it never continues to go to the upside. So when we see these moves, we're looking here. Okay. Now, these are impulse moves. These moves right here, even though we're in an uptrend, sometimes these moves can be red, but in a downtrend on a smaller time frame. But the overall big picture is still bullish. Now, what we don't want to do is we do not want to be here going long. Okay, it could show bullish. The trend right now is bullish. All right, the momentum, shall we say, on the higher time frames is bullish. But if we're going long at the apex of a move, then it puts us in a bad situation. Not only that, when you've got trouble ahead as far as resistance or an institutional area where there's unfilled sell orders, it can give you trouble. In this case, you can see that we're sitting at the bottom. We're sitting under a table. If you think about a table and a ball going under a table and it bounces, it's going to hit under the top of the table. And you can see right now that price is kind of sitting here. I expect this to be very much well like here, where price ends up giving you a move to the downside. So if I was to take this and to put it into context, you can say that this is the move here, okay? And this is a consolidation period. So a long move before it actually dropped to the downside, okay? And now you have a move here to the upside, okay? Now, one of the things that you could do is you can take and do a measured move. I love measured moves. Now, this is the true move here that it rallied up before it went down. And if you take a look at it, a second there, just grab it. There it goes. It's about the same distance as this, isn't it? So price rallied up and then it came down, okay? Let's take this and measure it up to here. What do you know? It's about the what? The same distance as that there. I can even move this out the way and take this and put it here. And it gives me a what? A measured move. Okay, let's do it one more time. The move here is about identical to this move. Okay, and it's relatively identical to there. So the market is a living, breathing mechanism. That living, breathing mechanism is much like a human being that breathes in and out. All right, and it moves, and it typically moves in what is called measured moves. So when you see this move here, not only do you have a bunch of candles where the bulls have been in control for about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 consecutive candles, and if this one holds and remains to be a green candle, it'll be 9. And you'll typically never really see one candle in control for more than 13 candles. After 13 candles, the other side typically kicks in. So it's typically a 3, 5, and 8 measured move. In this case, we're at the 8th candle, and the 9th one, we'll see if it ends up being a red candle and giving us something where price ends up moving to the downside. It could very much well consolidate, but for it to keep pushing to the upside, I would say that the bears won't be too happy about that, and they'll have something to say about it. So that's why my conviction to short on this one is a little bit higher than going long. And you can see the candles already starting to form a bearish bias. So with that being said, let's move on. And again, Why am I using this indicator? It's just giving me an indication as to where I should be going. A lot of us, when we're trading and trying to find trade ideas, we're typically going about it random and haphazardly with no particular order of things. And a lot of times you may end up trading something that's not moving. Like, for instance, if I am trading the New Zealand dollar right now, I'm not going to find an opportunity because right now the dollar and New Zealand are both the exact same strength and weakness at the same time. They have both the same. Neither is stronger, neither is weaker. So you will find that the chart on the daily right now isn't really moving much. Okay, and it can almost be the same can be said for the weekly. Okay, so as far as the New Zealand dollar. Now, with that being said, let's move on to the next pair. Under here, you can see that it's the Euro Aussie. And just to make sure that we're correct and up to date, I'll hit submit so that it refreshes it. There we go. Excellent. So now we got Euro dollar. What is the Euro dollar up to? Excellent. All right. So now I only typed the first 5 letters so that I can see the last letter so I can see what color it is. All right. Now, right now we've got 3, okay, 3 green on the monthly, weekly, and the daily. And then on the time frames that really don't matter to us that much are the quarterly and the yearly, they're red. So I'm really going to focus on these. And again, I'm going to look to be bullish unless it's just overextended in an area where I should be shorting. So location on the chart where you're entering a trade is very important. I may not even trade it at all if I don't want to be short against an overall uptrend on the monthly and the weekly, as well as the daily. So with that being said, let's go to the Euro dollar. And this one is pretty liquid. You'll see good movement on it. Probably one of them. It's the most traded pair of all pairs, as a lot of people trade them. I trade this pair. Now, looking on the 4-hour, you can see that the candles are, they've been sporadic over here. You've had some news that kind of gave it a nice little push to the upside. I'm not really too excited about what I see as far as in the immediate right now. We do have a trend line right here that's in line with that moving average. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger because I do want you guys to see this. And just so I'm perfect and spot on, boom. All right. So look at that. If price ends up making its way to the upside, it has 2 things to get through. Okay, it has to get through the trend line and the moving average, which is going to be double the trouble. All right, so with that being said, I mean, there's also a little bit of a trend line right here that price is struggling to get through. Okay, you can see it's kind of sitting on that one right now. All right. Take a look, you can actually see, but the more prominent one that I'm focused on is this one here because it's a long-term one. This is a weekly chart, so it's a pretty strong trend line as well as that moving average right there. Okay, that 21-period moving average. It's price is been having trouble getting above there, so it could be trouble in the future. Now, our daily. Okay, our daily is telling us that price in the last few candles is giving us a move to the upside, but in the overall big picture, it has been a downtrend. Okay, if I take a look here, let's see if I can. No, I'll just use this here. Hold on there. Let me connect that one a little bit better there. All right, so you can actually see that we're in a channel here. So again, I am not too excited to be going long right here while we're in an area where price has been bouncing up and down, up and down. But the good thing is, I would say the one thing for those that are long, is that we got a higher low here. Okay, price gave you a higher low. So right now, there's a little bit of trouble getting through here, so to speak. If you ask me, look at this area here. This whole area, price has been bouncing off of it, bouncing off, and then now we're below it. So as we're below it, it's giving us a little bit of trouble, or it's keeping price from just pushing to the upside, so to speak. So with that being said, I would be looking to short up in here. If you're expecting to go long now, you do have some room. You got about 21 pips before hitting that trend line, and about 41 or so before hitting that one, but it's not really much there. I'm not too excited about it because you can already see that we've made our way out. If you were going to take anything or try to go long, so to speak, you'd have went long there. See, based off of a trend line that the price gave you there. So if you were going to go long, I'd have went long down here. That's not the best setup because I don't see much, order flow from banks here. It's a lot of congestion. But for those of you that are aggressive looking for trades, just based off of maybe a bounce, then you'd be better off trading it down here than trying to go long there. As far as my traders that are looking for a short opportunity, I am eyeballing this area here. Okay. So obviously it could end up going past the trend line a bit, or it may not even get up there because, the trend line, I would even say that this area is a pretty good area. Okay. Wouldn't be opposed to that area either. All right. So I'm not too excited about going long right now on the dollar because of these few key things that you have in your way. Remember, this is a trend line within itself. You can see price action's been, or a channel, so to speak, bouncing in and off that channel. So it could end up coming in and bouncing off this area and then coming down or going through it just a little bit and hitting that weekly trend line. But even so, it still has a lot of things that it has to deal with and come to grips with in terms of the bears as they're on the front line up there. There's some institutional order flow. So I'd be a little bit cautious. If you're trading on an even smaller time frame, you might be able to go in, find a trade as price maybe retraces. Okay, it's too extended up there, but for me, I honestly would wait till it comes back down here. This is a sweet spot. Okay. I mean, surely this whole area is nice. Okay. But just looking at that there, you had price come in, had a hard time getting above, and then pow, it shot up. I guarantee you there's some unfilled order flow in there. So for those of you that are gung-ho about going long, wait for the pullback. All right. If you are super aggressive, then your pullback could be in this particular area there around 128.84. All right. So I'm not really that trader that's taking trades when they're very extended to the upside. I will wait for it to pull back. If we do take the Fibonacci, pull it up here, and use it for what its true purpose is, you can actually see that So this is the 236 retracement. So if you want that shallow retracement, again, you could take it long in that particular area there. I'm more so 786. Okay, I want that deep retracement, that retracement that comes to that bottom of that channel, because it's good money for me. I mean, think about it. It's the channel, the bottom of the channel where price action's been respecting for some time. So you would expect to see a good move. Or at the end of the day, it's still at the area where you have a footing. Okay. All right. Let's go back to and remember, you don't have to use, my indicator. You can use whatever you want. You could also use, the pip talk, or I'm sorry, not the pip talk, but the bounce back trades, or even swipe trades, and take those and look at those for opportunities. For the most part, I'm just going to go in and I want to take a look at dollar Swiss, because dollar Swiss is inversely correlated to euro US dollar. So it's like the opposite, so to speak. Okay. So this whole area here is a pretty solid area, I would say, for the bulls. I'm sorry, bears. Okay. We'll see what happens. These candles are very small candles. They're choppy. If I was to say on the 4 hour, I don't really like this too much. It is giving us an uptrend here on the 4 hour, but we don't look at trend on the smaller time frames. There is no trend here. As you can see, it was moving to the upside, then it gave us a lower low. We could get a lower high as price breaks to the downside there, but it has moving averages in its way. And the weekly is just as ugly, so not much there. Let's look at the Euro Swiss, because that's what I was trying to have us do on the indicator. Moving. Two green on here. It's red. So we'll be bullish. Unless the position is telling us to be bearish. I'm not too excited to be bullish, to be honest with you guys, trading into here. There's a lot of resistance inside here. And you can see that price has had trouble. Let's make it a little bit bigger, or a lot bigger. So this is not a trend. It's sideways. Okay. Make no mistake about it. It's sideways. Now, hold on there. There we go. All right. So maybe even no color, actually. How about no color? Or a little lighter. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So inside here, it's been in a sideways range. For me, we obviously see price respecting that area there. And then down here, there is a level of respect down here. Okay. All right. So we're in a sideways range. It's very, very bullish, but there's a little bit of trouble inside there. Okay. If I'm going to short, I'll probably end up shorting as price ends up getting up here. If you're very aggressive, you might want to start shorting down there. But again, I would like for price to be up here a little bit higher before I actually dive in. Okay, in that area there. Okay, it's getting a little bit closer to that area. I wouldn't be too excited here. I'm more so talking about right there. Right around in there. That's your sweet spot, okay? If you're going to trade anywhere, it'd be probably around right there. Now let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Boom. Oh, that's so special. And you want to find the truest sweet spot? Ooh, I love what I do. I love trading in front of you and giving you guys the goods. This particular area right there is pretty good for you. Okay. That level, an area is an area that you could be focusing on if you wanted to trade and be a little more aggressive. Okay. Be cautious. For those of you that are looking to try to go long now, again, be careful. For those of you that want to short now, it's in an area where you could take a little bit of good action. Okay, it's this particular area is not bad. The reason I say that is because if I move it all the way over, you can kind of see there. Boom. Okay. Bam, bam, boom. We had a little pause, and it broke below, and then now it's coming back in, and you see the price action came down. So we'll see what happens. If it does break through, you do have this area to contend with, so just keep that in mind. All right. I wouldn't be too excited about going long once it gets up there. Yeah, I'm not too excited to go long right now, where it is now. All right, so let's look at Euro New Zealand. So all three of them are bullish. That means we'll overall be looking to be bullish on Euro New Zealand. Dollar, New Zealand dollar. So we're overall bullish on these time frames. What's our trend looking like here? So once again, I mean, there really isn't much trends going on, guys. Oh. Now, for those of you that have been paying attention, you can obviously see that we do have a let's actually line this up nicely. There we go. All right. So you can see we got a trend line there that it bursted through. So price could end up rallying up a bit, a couple more candles before it gives us a pullback. And if it does, it has 3 candlesticks in its way. It's going to take a lot for it to actually move back to the downside. So I would say that this is a good sign that maybe the bulls are going to hold. This there shows, I mean, it's a little double bottom. You can see that it's starting to form. Yeah, you can see there it was in a downtrend for a minute, and then now price came, it broke through the trend line. I would really wait for it to pull back a little bit. Okay, maybe get a bounce off that trend line, and then we get a nice little move to the upside. It wouldn't be a bad thing. Okay, but I mean, this particular area there is also a nice little sweet spot that you could definitely look at there. Okay. So obviously that is a pretty nice little area that we could expect to see a little push to the upside. If you're a little bit more conservative, you could wait till price comes in and retest this area down there. Okay. But it wouldn't be a surprise to me if it doesn't even make it down there because it's got a lot to get through. So, but for you to try to go long now, I mean, it's too much in your way. Now, what are we looking at here? Yeah, so that's that for Euro New Zealand. I mean, I like what I see on the daily as far as my areas. So if it does come back down again, you can try to look for something to go long around this area here. So what the pound here is looking like. So we got 2 green, 1 red. All right, so we're bullish. All right, so starting out on the weekly, and the problem with a lot of these, you guys can see a lot of this stuff is not trending right now. So you got to be careful when you're in a market where you don't have much of a trend. If I find myself sitting and I'm looking at things that aren't really too much trending, I'm going to look at the range and trade it based on the range. So truth be told, if you look at the range, this is the range. Okay. That's the range it's in. It's dropped a little bit lower, but then it came back through, dropped in because, let's say a big event or whatever it may be that occurred then, and then price action popped back in. And you can see that it's back in the range. I believe this was Brexit related. But now we're back inside this range, but we're in the middle. Okay. You do got some movement and some respect for this 21 period moving average on the weekly. And I'd say actually this part here is more so lower to the bottom, but right now you're getting closer to the middle. So do keep that in mind. Okay. And it's been the same old song on the weekly. Okay. So you got that there. So you can see that we're in a ascending triangle. I would expect to see this thing bounce out. Okay, get a little push out. And then again, I'm off of that bounce back. So I would like to see it bounce out of there. And then from there, I'll take the trade. Okay. To the upside. All right. I would wait for that move as it moves out. I'm not going to be too gung ho to go long now. What if it does break out to the downside? Because you got to be prepared to trade either way. Okay. Then you could take the trade there. Wait for the bounce off here. And then come in there. Now, where do I expect it to go? Well, there's a tool for that. It's called a measured move. Come on now, hold on. There we go. All right. So I can take that and I can measure the move from there to the downside to get a good idea as to where price action is going to move to. Okay. And I can do the same for the upside. Okay. To get a good idea where price action will move to the upside. Okay. And that's if you got a push and we expected price to move and come back down into that area and retest there. You could expect to see it rally up into there, and it's actually with good cause, because you could see there's some trouble that it would be facing in there. Keep in mind, not going to completely ignore this whole area right here. This whole area has had resistance. Came in, boom, had trouble. Right here it started out, boom, fell. Rallies up, boom, falls. Rallies up, boom, 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 falls. Again, rallies on up, boom, and then falls. And I love this area here, an opportunity. When I see price coming in and moving and you get nice candles to the upside, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 to the upside, okay? Where the bulls were in control and then the bears finally took over before it pushed down and give you a nice push to the downside. Same thing here applies. You got it rally up and then boom, it falls down. Same thing here, boom, rallies up and then falls down. So I wouldn't be too excited to go long once it's up here. I'm also not excited to be going long inside this wedge. I wait for price to come out, give us a nice little push up, fall a bit, and then give us the retest, and then we take the move to the upside. So for me, I'm really paying attention to this area right here. To me, that's the sweet spot. Okay. All right. I see there's some questions. I'll answer you guys' questions after the session here. There's Q&A. While we're recording, I don't really want most of the Q&A on air, because there's a lot of people that are going to be watching the replay, and they're not a part of the iMarkets community. So for those that are not part of the iMarkets community, I will be going over how to get exclusive access with my exclusive promotional code. For those that are probably pressed for time and have to go now, my exclusive promotion code is Mr. Wall Street. We are an exclusive club and community, and we don't just offer membership to anyone. You have to be referred, and someone has to vouch for you. So with that being said, if you're in here and you're learning and you're showing dedication, you can be under my tutelage, under my wing, as I'll be guiding you here. And we do have more in-depth sessions that we go through that will go over the markets in more in-depth detail. And I have courses as well that show you how to take advantage of the multiple resources that are available at iMarkets. And you can also see the offer that's in there for the Platinum package. If you click on the offer that's within your window there, you will see the Platinum package, the special offer that we have for the Platinum package, where you guys can get access to IML TV, you can get access to the harmonic scanner, the web analyzer, and most importantly, Pip Talk, which is what you're here now live with me, Mr. Wall Street. So with that being said, let's move to next pair. So we are looking at, hold on there. Refresh it. Takes a little bit to refresh. There we go. All right. So we already looked at Euro Yen, I believe. Now let's take a look at it. Just one more time. And I think that was the initial one where we took a look and it was moved to the upside where we took a look at this one. Yeah, so we expect to see price move down to the downside. And again, this is one of those moves that I like to see, where you got a lot of candles in one direction. We looked at euro dollar, we looked at euro Swiss. Did we look at euro Aussie? Let's take a look and see. I think so. May have looked at it the other day. Now, this is interesting because you could see the price action was in a channel there, but it broke below it, and then now it broke above. But it's still sideways. There is no real trend right now. It's a nice move to the upside, but we don't have a higher low. We did get a higher high as price broke above this high there and that lower high there, and the lower high here and the lower high there. It does have to get through this particular area. That moving average could cause it a problem. And also, this is the sweet spot here. Yeah. So I would say the price action definitely, you can see it bounced off there, bounced off. It has to get through that area, which is a little bit troublesome for the bulls. A little light work there. You could see the price action came, pow, bounced off. And another main reason why I grabbed that area there is because you can see here, it's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on there. Okay. Bam, 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 and then it pops up. And then price comes in and then it falls down right there. So it's a nice little key area for us to pay attention to. Okay. Those are both key areas. If I'm looking, if I'm looking to short this, now remember the indicator, what the indicator tell us for Euro Aussie? What's the main trend? And I'll look at the trend on the charts, but for now let's just take a look here. The daily's bullish. These other time frames, you can see it's bullish as well, but not very strong because they're almost the same strength and same weakness at the same time. Here, it almost holds true as well, but it's bearish. All right, on the monthly, quarterly is bearish. So I'm overall going to be bullish on this because the two time frames near the time frame we're looking at are bullish. But then when you go to the chart's also not in agreement with you as far as being bullish right now because of some of the things that are in your way. We're sideways here. I would say that the one thing that you do have in your favor is we've been sideways on the weekly for a while now. Ever since the end of January, we've been kind of sideways. And now price is at pretty much at the bottom of that little range there. Let's see here. Take a look at that. I mean, it's special, I know. It's at the bottom of that range. So if you were to go long, that's in your favor. But I would like to be long down here. I'm not the kind of guy that wants to be long when I get closer to the middle of the range. Okay? If I was to draw a good range for you, I would draw bullish area right here where we'd be comfortable to be bullish. Okay? And then I draw another area in here where we'd be comfortable to be bearish. And I'll make this a little bit bigger because I can make the other one down there a little bit bigger. Okay. And then you'd have a middle ground that's just neutral. You can kind of take it either way, but just understand that you really don't have much in your favor. Okay. I'd be looking to go long down here, looking to short up there, and not really do much in the middle. You don't really want to diddle in the middle. Okay. So as of right now, when you keep that in context, you can actually see it holds a little bit more true. You can see the range that it's in here. I don't really like this one as much either. Like I wouldn't want to be shorting down here right now. I'm more so excited about shorting here or even a little higher up. For instance, if I was to get in my area, my little nook and cranny, the one I gave you, I gave you that little area right up there, okay? So if I'm going to go up in there, I can say, all right, this is more like it up here. So I could set alerts to alert me of when price moves into this area here. Okay. So if you're really aggressive, you're looking to trade and short it in here, but keep in mind it's at the bottom of that range. Now, if you want to be patient, you can wait for price to get up here and you're shorting it up here because you know it's at the top of that range. It's on the weekly where price has been inside. Okay. So we went through a lot. I want to go through one more. Okay. Let's go to some cryptocurrency. Okay. I love cryptocurrency. All right. Now, I want to move with some Fibonacci. So we're coming off a bullish move, and I more so like to see a 618 retracement. It's a deep retracement, I know, but a lot of times you'll see price action end up giving the bulls some life around that area there, and that could very much well happen. So we'll see. Okay. So I would like to see this move to the downside. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to happen all the way down. I see possible little stair steps, considering that there are fib areas that price would have to possibly get through. You may end up seeing a little push down just like that. Okay. But once price gets in that area, I look to really go long. So I'd say 4,500. Okay, just flat out, about 4,500 is your sweet spot. All right, for Bitcoin. Okay, because of that 618 retracement. If we don't get that, then obviously, if it does decide to hold there, just keep in mind 5,000 right now where we're at. It's a key psychological area, so people could be looking to go in and possibly short, mainly just because they got in at a lower price when we were around here at 3,800, and even lower when price action went on down to 3,500, which was a pretty key area there. Okay, where price was holding, you could see there it was holding for a minute at the 3,500, and then it rallied on up, had a nice little push down, but that move didn't hold because it slowly got eroded, and then boom. You could even beg to differ that level right there was the final confirmation where it pushed through and then had nothing else in its way and shot to the upside. So for now, that's that. Let's look at one more. So it's kind of the same thing. Okay. So right now we're at the 50% retracement. That 618 is right here, and that'd be I'd say just above 150. 150, your sweet spot. Okay, these things are very volatile, so could very much well bounce a little bit past that fib area, but that's a sweet spot nonetheless. I like that. I like that area just a bit, quite a bit. All right, so with that being said, I wanted to end this, but I want to show you guys how to take advantage the opportunity for those that want to take advantage of the wonderful opportunities that we have here at iMarkets. Or you know, let's say you want to sign up. Again, it's an exclusive community. So for those that, you know, just try to go to the website, you know, if you just try to go to imarkets.com, you'll find that when you click get started, it's gonna ask you, you know, for a referral code. All right. Well, actually, you're going to say it's going to say get started, and then it asks you new customer or new IBO, new independent business owner. In this case, you're going to click on new customer because I'm assuming that you want to take advantage of Pip Talk and get more in depth with Mr. Wall Street, and also get access to a lot of the many products and resources that we have. Well, you definitely want to click register now, okay, under the new customer, okay, because that will give you access to more in-depth sessions with myself. And you're going to type in Mr. Wall Street, okay, that'll be a referral code, and then you click continue. And any products, any one of the products that you choose will give you access to these sessions. Obviously, we're only giving out the referral link. I'm sorry, not referral link, but the link for access to the current Pip Talk sessions for free to the public. But after, I believe, 7 days, your link will no longer work. So you'll have to sign up to get further access. So with that being said, I enjoyed my time with you guys. As always, this is Pip Talk coming to you live from Mr. Wall Street. Until next time, peace.